Welcome back to our weekly walkthrough, where we bring above, below, and take a leisurely stroll through the upcoming transits and colorful cosmos. Yes, this is an astrology video for those of you who haven't seen me before. And it is nurtured into being by genuine human beings. If you would like to be one of them and help keep me going with all of this, and particularly help me bring back the stars and cards of the day, then please check us out on Rhymes with Say Tree On, because we do love trees here. All right, so I just want to give a quick glance at May in general and highlight a couple things before we jump into the week. So the first big one is that I'm going to jump ahead just slightly because I'm a Saturnian, and Saturn is moving into Aries on May 24th. If you have cardinal sign placements, please look at your chart. That would be Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer, and see where Aries is and where Saturn will be ingressing and where it's going to touch all your stuff, because it's a big deal. And it's a prequel to a longer transit. We're just going to have this little brief taste before the retrograde later in the year in a few months. So, May 2nd, our Mars post-shadow ends. We're done with the Mars retrograde story, finally, after forever. Pluto stations retrograde May 4th, and the Venus post-shadow ends May 16th, and we're finally out of the forever that was the first half of the year. Hey, like, we're not even halfway through the year, but it carried most of the weight. I'm curious to see how much things loosen up after that. The Mercury-Pluto square on May 6th is another one, but we'll get into that with this week. And Mercury square Mars on May 17th. And what else are we looking at? Yeah, I think that's all I really want to preview for May in general. Let's just jump straight into this week. Okay, so Monday, we're still feeling the new moon vibes from today when I'm recording this. Very Taurus season, little bit crunchier than we'd like due to the Mars-Pluto opposition still making waves and headlines. In particular, when the moon hits Uranus and Algol, we will have potential friction. Just be gentle with your body. This is in the evening, 6:33 p.m. Mountain Time. Then we'll get some contact with the clusterfuck at the end of Pisces with the North Node, Saturn, and Venus. So it could be an insightful evening. Then Tuesday, we move into Gemini moon territory. It's a busy day. Like, really good day for thinking, moving, figuring things out, trying to puzzle through things. We have a lot of outer contacts that day, as well as Mars. And then Wednesday, we get our waxing crescent, Gemini moon, but we also get Venus moving back into Aries. Now, Venus in Aries, we've already been through it, but what's interesting about this year is, Taurus season is a lot firier than usual, and this is going to pull some of that forward. Like, Aries season blended into Pisces season and will continue blending into Taurus season as planets are moving back into Aries, in addition to, our outers camping out there now, particularly Neptune and soon to be Saturn. And with that, this is where we kind of want to get radical again in terms of what it means to connect, where we want to step apart from others and really kind of do things our own way. Not because we don't care, but because we also care about ourselves, and we don't always need to appeal to what other people want in order to do what's best for ourselves and for others. So, let yourself also experiment when it comes to art, creativity. You might find yourself revisiting some of the things that you were doing during that first section of the retrograde. Particularly creative projects that maybe got put on hold with the rest of the chaos in the sky. All right, so then we move into May Day, which should be Labor Day in the US, but it's not, and that's a separate soapbox. But for the rest of the world, happy Labor Day, happy May Day. Okay, So Cancer moon, early in the morning, Mountain Time, 1:22 a.m. We love a moon in domicile, even if she immediately squares Venus. It's fine. But there could be some late night or early morning, depending on where you're watching this from, challenges between what your body needs and what your obligations are. And so these are smaller scale frictions to pay attention to. We're also going to have the North Node sextile Uranus. It's not typically an aspect that a lot of people pay attention to, but I mean, in the evening, just before 9 p.m. Mountain Time, you may find there's some insight to be had there, especially as the moon will echo that aspect shortly after with the sun also in Taurus. And then Friday the 2nd, as I mentioned, Mars is going to leave the post-retrograde shadow. And the Cancer moon starts getting in a fight with some of the other Aries season, I'm having a lot of brain fog today, forgive me. The pile up in Pisces has finally turned me into mush. But, accomplices, that's the word. Aries accomplices. We have Mercury in Aries, which will be square the moon in the morning. So if you need extra time in the morning to get ready and do stuff, really give yourself that space, because it might be a little funky, especially with the Venus-Neptune conjunction at 11:06 a.m. Mountain Time. That is going to be very, very dreamy. Good for art, good for spiritual stuff, not good for seeing things clearly. If you have a first date on Friday, it's okay if it feels absolutely wonderful. Just be aware that you want to put your feet back on the ground a little bit later. Like, don't make big moves, I would say, or do, maybe you want to go full fool card and take that leap of faith, whatever works for you. Then we're gonna look at Saturday, the weekend, Leo moon, lots of hype and a lot of fire energy. We do get that opposition to Pluto that is now our monthly blessing with Leo moons, and moon conjunct Mars, which can be a little painful at 6:12 in the evening. So if you feel inclined to push and do a lot on Saturday, I want you to also put in some breaks to check in with your body so we don't have any unexpected injuries or unnecessary stressors. Then for our half moon on Sunday, we have moon, our half moon is moon square the sun, and Pluto will station retrograde. Outer stationing retrograde isn't a huge deal because it's half the year, but the station days can be impactful. So maybe just check in with Aquarius in your chart, see where that is, and see what you're being called to review for this next stretch. But Pluto will not be exiting Aquarius, even though we're only at 3 degrees right now. Still not gonna get back into Capricorn. We're done with that. And yeah, that takes us through our week. So I'm going to pull a few cards. Let's see, first part of the week, Child of Staves. So this is just about that playful curiosity and really letting yourself explore and be open to messages. And not just open to messages, but open to messages that aren't necessarily human-centric. What is the natural world trying to communicate with you when you slow down enough to listen? And then, we have the High Priestess reversed, which can be a little bit of brain drain due to too many synchronicities and things. I don't know if that was your last week, but that was my last week and the last week for a lot of people I know. So it's that fuzziness, especially with Neptune and Aries as planets are moving through Aries. It's just a lot right now. Then we get our Lust card for midweek. Again, that Neptune-Venus conjunction. And this is about strong desire. This is actually a version of the Strength card. And with that, I want you to really think about what it means to bring power and desire into a more natural balance in your life. When is that kind of excess actually okay? And when we move into another Strength card, reversed, when is it just weakness and vice? That's one of our big questions for this week. When is too much actually too much? And when is it actually just a good time? With the Empress, particularly the pomegranate version of the Empress, there's a lot of temptation, there's a lot of sweetness, and there's a lot of pleasure to be had right now. So at least let yourself have some fun. And again, Strength reversed, don't go too far. The cards are being very echoey and loud right now. finally, what's our last message? Okay, plans will go awry. That's where we're at.